There are new technologies, trending technologies such as AI. How do you perceive the role of trending technologies in general?
Overall, I think container shipping, being an asset-heavy industry operating vessels across the ocean, we do use a lot of technology, but the container in its design has been created 50 years ago and is still the same. So now we're going to probably the next generation in containers. Technologies play a really big role for us as a shipping company in the sense of IoT on containers. We are creating about 10 times as much data right now than we have done a year ago with our containers. Now, of course, we need to start working with that data and we need to build up new skills, etc., to use that data. And emerging technologies, for instance, AI, are certainly one tool to help us do that.
And you have exactly such tool to turn big data into relevant data and into making that relevant data accessible. It's called Scope AI, Stefan. Mm-hmm. What is Scope AI all about?
Well, it ultimately lets you play in a very easy way with the data. And so, think about a client like Hapag-Lloyd, which wants to investigate, use cases around the data. So saying how many assets are currently traveling, for a certain region, how many doors have been opened unexpectedly overnight. So that, in a traditional way, you would have, written reports and it might have taken a couple of days to get those answers. Something like Scope AI lets you play around with that data instantly in a very conversational way. So the same way, you and I probably play around, or the three of us play around with ChatGPT. We ask questions to investigate, and once you see the first results, you ask the next question, etc. You drill down level by level. You do exactly the same thing with Scope AI. We just, again, at the beginning, it gives us goosebumps when we play around with it at the moment, but it's just the beginning, and we will see a lot more coming there in the next couple of years.
So we are replacing complex spreadsheet analyses with a very simple question, which can come from a carrier, from a client, whatever stakeholder can just ask a simple question from their perspective.
Or you could also say we're democratizing the way you can actually engage with the data, that it's not Hapag-Lloyd asking us and us running, and creating that report, but it's actually everyone playing themselves with their own data, because ultimately Hapag-Lloyd owns the data. They also want to have, a very easy way of engaging and turning that data into relevant information. And the easiest way you can do that if you can directly interact with it.
I think for us, being a traditional shipping company, we are at the just very early days of discovering what AI can mean for us. But one thing we certainly believe is that for AI to make sense and be a benefit, you need to have a lot of high quality data to feed the machine in order to provide you good answers. And therefore container tracking is one piece of the puzzle. If we do that right, we will be able to use AI to its full extent.
To add to that, there's different kinds of assets you need to look at. So there's the containers who move around, but there's also fixed assets like ports in the world and terminals, etc. Ships, where you have lots of containers, being grouped in one single asset. Now, what you want to do is you want to interact between different points. So, containers entering ports, containers leaving certain terminals, gates, etc. Again, sounds very simple, very difficult to realize. Why? Because sometimes you have just too much data available. Either you have no data available or too much data available. So this is an elegant way of actually taking it down to a level where people can take decisions.